Hello, Jacob here again, and this is the beginning of level 4, what the requirements for a level 4 saint would be. The first requirement is something that Saint Mary, I met with Saint Mary, and she indicated that this should be a requirement and part of this message, and that is to act in accordance of what you feel is the highest vision for the earthly race. So basically, whatever your actions are, you want to hold everybody to a very high standard of conduct. The highest standard you can possibly imagine for the entire race. And understanding the fact that all is one, which was already part of the course, will make it very easy to understand that. The next requirement is to base all actions on truthful information of a planetary scale and work with harmony with other saints. So basically, and that'll all be on the site. So basically, law enforcement will have specific things that they need to do. The energy industry will have things that they need to do. The healthcare industry will have things they need to do, education, everything. And if you are conducting yourself at the level of a saint, you would be completely honest with other people who are willing to be completely honest with you, regardless of what they do for a living. And that will really help the human race evolve. And that was important. That's very important to Peter Pan. Peter Pan, that's his thing. Although I could see how it's very, it's very important, because a lot of times if you work in the healthcare industry, the doctors believe they have to keep all sorts of secrets, and then the law enforcement, they believe they have to keep all sorts of secrets. Where if they, the realtors, they have to keep secrets. Whereas if the law enforcement, the military, the healthcare, and the realtors could just be honest with one another, which is not the job. It's not considered ethical to be honest with one another, going by the standards set forth by the government. But if you were to look past that and look at it four-dimensionally, it's, in order to get a job on a spaceship and move up and harmoniously exist in a higher dimension, that's basically what life there is looking for: clear, direct, honest communication. And that's all. So a lot of people have been steered off track, but okay. All right. The next requirement will be have witnessed 3 miracles and actually performed 1 miracle yourself, and that will be. Once you understand the importance of forgiveness, miracles just start happening all around you. So that should be, in the process of taking the course and understanding these things, and once that software and everything is put on the computer and people just forgive one another, there's going to be miracles happening everywhere. So that shouldn't be a problem. Plus the fact, once you realize God is within you, it's much easier to perform miracles as well. Because all is one, you are God, and that's just the way it is. So that's, and expand your consciousness and spiritually developing to realize that will make miracles possible. And then once you actually perform a miracle, then, it gets into realizing how powerful you really are. And hopefully the human race will wake up and just want to just be nice to each other and help each other. And that's very important for interdimensional evolution for the future generations. And this, what's been going on this planet now, has been going on for thousands of years. And the human race is being exposed to information that they've never been exposed to before, and it's coming in very quickly. So instead of fighting it, just to jump on the wave and surf it would be. I mean, you could paddle against a 30-foot wave, but you'll never you'll never win against a 30-foot wave. So if you want to just jump on a surfboard and enjoy it and work in harmony with it, that's what I recommend to do. The next thing is, and this shouldn't be worked with until the 4th level, where you're acting in the highest vision for everybody. But you want to acknowledge God's law, and God's law is that there is no rules. So we have to do what we have to do in this physical dimension, but ultimately God's law is that there are no rules. When even the laws of nature, you can get past those, and then when you do break the laws of nature, which human beings are supposed to be doing, actually, you become supernatural. That's what it means to be supernatural, to go beyond the laws of nature, and that's what we're shooting for. And it's also very important to be working in resonance with the laws of the universe and the laws of creation. So you want to make sure you have a really good handle on the laws of the universe and laws of creation. At least know what they are, and see how what you're doing. Just make sure you're in harmony with that, and then once you understand those laws, then you just throw God's law in there, work with God's law. But understanding your God, working in the highest vision for everybody, that's what's necessary there. The next requirement would be to have the ability to project love. When you're talking about the different elements, you have earth, air, or wind, then fire, water. Those are 4 elements. And then the 5th element, that varies depending on where you're getting that information from. Some say the 5th element is light. If you go by the teachings of Ashtar Command, then it's space. And some say it's ether, or etheric energy, and then others say it's love. And when I started learning about all this stuff, I was questioning why different people had different definitions for the 5th element. And then I spoke with a being who I believe was as enlightened as Jesus Christ. If not, it was Jesus Christ, a doppelganger. And basically he just smiled and nodded his head and said the 5th element is whatever connects the other 4 elements. So for the purpose of Q SETI, we're going to call it love, because love, that seems to, that's the binding force that overrules everything. So in regards to Q SETI, the 5th element is love. But you have to be able to project love, and that's an extremely important thing to do. And this, you can actually measure this, and the Q SETI website will be set up for that. And you want to be able to project a certain amount of love, and that's important, and it'd be a very good tool in the process of evolving past war. Because say you have two militaries, and one military is 500 troops, the other military is 500 troops, and they're ready to go at it. Well, if one military knew how to project love and projected love at the other guys, they drop their guns and you'd never fight. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter what the orders are, doesn't matter anything. If you were able to project love at that, there would be no war. Just that one thing would allow a being to evolve past war. Although we're going to be giving you every tool that we know of to evolve past war. That's, just that one. If you had that skill and you developed spiritually to the point where you could do that, that would be, that'd be very helpful and useful. So, but the website's set up for that, so we'll just move on. The next thing is that you will want to have had experienced at least 2 other lives. The reason why this is important for, well, it could be important for an infinite amount of reasons, limitless amount of reasons, but once you have experienced, actually, physically experienced another life, or bilocated and experienced living in a doppelganger's body, or in a different dimension or in a parallel universe, and then come back to your own body, what becomes very clear is the mechanics of karma. And most likely, from what I've seen with doppelgangers, is a lot of the things that one doppelganger is experiencing, the hardships that a doppelganger is experiencing, they experience these things interdimensionally. And in one dimension, they're able to get past it, and in another dimension, they're not. And if you're able to extract information from yourself like that, from another version of you, and then come back to the dimension you're in, it really speeds up your evolution and the learning process that a being is supposed to go through. And then there's a lot of things with the government, how we've been, how we're being used as slaves. Well, if you've experienced, like myself, 8 lifetimes of slavery, then it becomes extremely clear, something has to be done about this, because, during those 8 lives, no evolution has happened. It's just been, slavery lifetime after lifetime. But if you experience all these 8 lifetimes and then come into one body, and you're able to conduct yourself with that information, that is very important. And it's not hard to do. I mean, with an active Merkaba, you can bilocate, you can go to another dimension, experience that, bring that information back, and live with the experience of other beings. So now I'll just go over some experience I have with past lives. When you're watching this video and you're looking at me, you're just seeing one being. But I actually have experienced with interdimensional travel, bilocation, and time travel. I've experienced at this time probably about 15 different lives. So I'm extracting information from all different lives that I've lived, which is extremely, for a lot of people, would be difficult to comprehend or believe, and then for other people it would be like, easily believe, because they've lived 100 lives. But the mechanics of karma became very clear to me, and the reason why the human race isn't evolving and keeps getting their soul recycled has become extremely clear after experiencing some of these things. Because basically reincarnation. If you're working in a slaughterhouse, the next life you're going to come back as the cow. So that's that has become very clear to me. Like if you're working as a police officer and you're responsible for incarcerating a lot of people, just because you're just doing exactly what it says on the piece of paper. Well, the flip side of that is that your next life, you're going to be the inmate, and that is, that's information's being withheld from the law enforcement community, and like a lot of the military, and like if you're dropping bombs, well, your next lifetime, you're on the receiving end of those bombs. And when you begin experiencing other lives, you experience these things and you know them for yourself. So it'll really, waking you up will make you really question authority on this. And it's very easy to question authority when you expand your consciousness and you look at how people are treating each other and what these laws do and what these